All right, let's talk about unlocking a kind of superpower, an architect's X-ray vision. I'm talking about the ability to look at a building and see straight through the walls, to understand that hidden skeleton that holds the whole thing up. So let's dive in and take a closer look.
Seriously, have you ever just stood in a room and wondered, what is actually going on inside these floors or the walls or the ceiling above my head? Beyond the paint and the drywall, there's this entire complex world of structures. And today, we're going to learn the language that brings it all to life.
And the key to this whole thing is something called a sectional view. So, what is that? Well, the absolute best way to think about it is like slicing into a birthday cake. I mean, sure, the outside looks great, but the real magic happens when you cut out a piece and you can see all those amazing layers of sponge and cream and everything inside. A sectional view does that exact same thing, but for a building.
And this right here is where that magic really happens. Turning a drawing into reality. On the left, you've got the architect's technical drawing. To most of us, it kind of looks like just a bunch of lines on a page. But look to the right. That is what those lines actually represent. A detailed 3D cutaway of the house. This is how a builder goes from a flat piece of paper to a finished, standing home. It shows them all those hidden parts.
Okay, so how do we learn to read these secret maps?
It's actually way easier than you might think. We're going to take a little virtual journey through a house, and we'll start right at the bottom and work our way all the way to the top, decoding the structure as we go.
So our first stop on the tour is right under your feet, the timber floor. This is quite literally the foundation of our entire understanding. Now, take a look at this. This drawing is showing us a slice of the building right where the wall meets the ground. You can see the concrete foundation, you can see the brickwork, and you see exactly how the wooden floor structure sits right on top of it. This isn't just a pretty picture, it's a very precise set of instructions for a builder.
So, what are we really looking at here? Well, it basically boils down to two main parts you gotta know. You have the joists, those are the big support beams, and then you have the floorboards, which are just the planks you actually walk on. Pretty simple, right? And this diagram just shows their job perfectly. The joists create this strong, rigid frame. Think of it like a skeleton for the floor. It's doing all the heavy lifting. All the weight, you, your couch, your dog, everything, it all pushes down through the floorboards, onto these joists, and then that weight gets transferred down into the foundation. This is exactly why a well-built floor feels so solid.
All right, now that we've got the floor down, let's travel all the way to the top of the house and take a look at the roof.
Just like the floor, a roof is so much more than what you see from the street. Underneath all those shingles and tiles, there's this whole complex anatomy of wooden beams. And this cutaway shows us that hidden framework perfectly, the thing that gives the roof its shape and, protects the home from rain and snow.
So, the key players up here? Well, you've got rafters, which are the angled beams that make the slope of the roof. They all meet at the very top. It's something called the ridge board. Then you've also got battens running across them and, of course, ceiling joists, which make up the floor of the attic space.
And this simple 2D drawing makes it all crystal clear. See? You can see exactly how the rafters rise up from the walls and meet right at that ridge board. That's what creates that classic triangular shape of a roof peak. Every single one of these parts has a name and a very specific job to do to keep that roof strong.
So we've covered the bottom and the top, but how do we get between them? It's time to uncover the secrets of the staircase.
A staircase might look pretty simple, but let me tell you, getting it right is so important for safety and just comfort. A sectional drawing like this one is absolutely essential. It tells the builder the exact height and depth for every single step, making sure the staircase isn't too steep or awkward to climb.
So let's break it down really quick. The part your foot actually lands on, that's called the tread. The vertical piece that kicks up to the next step is the riser, and that main diagonal support beam that holds the whole thing together, that's the stringer. And now you know.
Okay, so we've journeyed through the house. We've seen how these drawings work for each part. Now, let's put it all together and really understand why this is basically the builder's secret code.
Here's the most important point of all. These sectional drawings are not just pictures. They are the official instruction manual for the building. They show a builder exactly what's supposed to be inside a wall or a floor and precisely how to put it all together correctly, strongly, and most importantly, safely.
And hey, if you want a super simple way to remember the key structures we've talked about, I've got an easy trick for you. Just think FRS. That's F for floor, R for roof, and S for stairs. Easy.
So to wrap this all up, what are the big takeaways here? First, sectional views are like having X-ray vision. They show you what's on the inside.
Second, they reveal all those hidden but totally crucial parts, like support beams and internal frames. And finally, they are absolutely essential for builders to understand the plan and get the job done right. So, the next time you walk into any room, your house, a friend's house, anywhere, just take a second. Look at the floor, look up at the ceiling, check out the staircase, because now you have a little bit of that architect's X-ray vision. What hidden structures are you going to see?